Need a winter holiday escape? Forget your cares in Fiji. White sand beaches and scuba diving are calling. Your tropical paradise getaway is just one nonstop Fiji Airways flight away, with round-trip fares starting at $899 from LAX or SFO. Or check out great fares to Australia and New Zealand with seamless connections via Fiji. Book now at FijiAirways.com. From here to happiness, flying direct with Fiji Airways.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, go to SelectQuote.com. SelectQuote.com. That's SelectQuote.com.
SelectQuote. We shop, you save. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to this episode. Today, we will discuss a critical compliance issue that can cause small business owners problems. That is the required 1099 processing that occurs every January to the Internal Revenue Service, or IRS. Please stay tuned because at the end of this episode, we will give you a 50% off coupon to take a 1099 best practices course with our partners at Springboard Training. One challenge a small business owner faces is which vendors do I report each year? Thus, step one of this process is to obtain a W-9 from your vendors. A good rule is to think about how I initially engage with the vendor. Am I talking to this vendor in person, by phone, or over a software tool like Zoom to contract with them? Or am I going online and subscribing to their service? Let's take each of these scenarios separately. So scenario one, you want to obtain an annual Zoom subscription. In this scenario, you would go online, look up zoom.com, and create an account to subscribe to the service. In this case, as a small business owner, I'm not talking directly to Zoom, and I would not file a 1099 for the company. Thus, I will not ask them for a W-9. Scenario two, I decide that I need some computer and technology support for my business. A friend has referred a person that they use for this service in their small business. I meet with them on Zoom to discuss their services and how they support me in my business. They tell me that they can purchase computers for my employees, set up the computers with appropriate software, and ship those computers to my staff upon hiring. They can also provide troubleshooting for employees of my company charged at 15-minute increments. In this case, I want the vendor to provide me with a W-9 so I can assess if I need to file a 1099 at the end of the year. Think of it this way. You would not hire accountants, bookkeepers, legal services, cleaning services, human resources support, information technology support services, or consultants without directly talking to them first. That should be your clue to automatically request a W-9 when you hire these services. At this point, you do not know if you will file a 1099, but the key piece of this part of the process is to have that W-9 document. That is the essential thing that must be done once you have contracted with the vendor before any payments are processed. Once you have the W-9, you will have the information you need to know if you need to file a 1099, which will be covered in a separate episode. I have had some clients in my full charge bookkeeping business wait to get the W-9 because they do not feel they will spend the threshold amount of money with the vendor. However, you may not know the thresholds for every type of vendor, and if you're not paying attention, they can exceed that amount, and then you have to go back to them to obtain the form. Allow your computer software to do this for you and avoid having anything slip through the cracks. I know some of you may be in a situation where you have already contracted with a vendor and you do not have that W-9. You have already made payments to the vendor, so what do? I would advise that you alert the vendor that a W-9 is needed and that you have a new policy for vendors that require a W-9 to be on file. And you could even say, I require the W-9 to continue paying you. Give them a deadline for getting you a completed W-9. You can find a blank, fillable PDF version of the W-9 by doing a Google search for a PDF of the IRS W-9. Download that and send it to them. Let them know that if the W-9 is not received by the date you select, no further engagement with the vendor will continue after that date. In some cases, you may have to obtain a new vendor if they refuse to send you one. It has been my experience that 99% of the time, the vendor will send it to you. If you want to take a 1099 Best Practices mini course, here's the information to do that. Go to our partners at courses.springboard-learning.com and sign up for the course called Small Business Best Practices on 1099s. This course has 3 modules, and the course goes into detail about how to ensure that you comply with the IRS on this process. You have the option of signing up for a monthly subscription rate, 1-year access to the course, or a lifetime purchase of the course. Each of these options can be discounted by 50% if you use the code 1099HALF upon checkout. Again, that's the numbers 1099HALF at checkout. Thanks so much for listening, and we will talk again soon.
With the Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
This is your captain speaking. We've got clear runway and the weather's fine, but we're just going to circle up here a while and get lucky. No, nothing like that. It's just these cash prizes add up quick. So I suggest you sit back, keep your tray table upright, and start getting lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Coincidence? I think not. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere, even at 30,000 feet. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
No purchase necessary. VGW. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.